Hi guys, and welcome to another video by I'm Vegan and Frodo. Hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful day. And today I was actually gonna upload another video, but with everything that has been happening in this area of the world over the last, let's say 24 hours, it made me want to talk about another subject, and it made me want to really record something different and talk about that. And the subject for this video is, natural disasters. It's earthquakes, tsunamis, just freaking snow, storms, just, whatever you might want to, floods, just, whatever you want to think about, whatever might happen in the area where you live. And from my experience with the earthquakes, this video has been brought up by the earthquake that hit New Zealand over the last, and been hitting New Zealand. I think they've had almost 200 little mini earthquakes and aftershocks after a couple of really big ones, and the big ones were 7.8, and it lasted almost a minute, half a minute, 30 seconds if not more, and it's just literally shaking and shaking and shaking non-stop. So it made me think, I know a lot of people who live in New Zealand, and people who live in New Zealand watch my channel as well, so it hits home, and I have gotten experience with earthquakes. I know what it's like to be woken up in the middle of the night, or be walking somewhere in the middle of the day and the earth starting to shake out of nowhere, and you seeing these big giant structures around you, buildings, concrete buildings, literally going side to side in opposite directions, and you'd feel like you'd normally think that these buildings are very, strong and sturdy, but by watching them just going like that, you feel like you're being pushed to the ground, or the safest thing you can do is just be as close to the ground as possible, because there's absolutely nothing else that you can do. It's just happening. It's a natural occurrence. And the magnitude that the earthquake that I was part of was in Christchurch. I think it was 2011 when it happened, and I've been there for all of the ones that were there that year, and there were quite a few big ones, a couple of really big ones. One happened at night and one happened during the day. I think it was almost 7, magnitude was almost 7, or 7 something, 7.4 whatever, and that one also had a fatalities. It's 185 people died, and it was pretty freaking tough, and it was horrendous, because you feel very small. You feel like you can't do anything. It is outside of your control, and there's also not much that you can do to help it, to fix it, to help someone else. And when it happens, it's just, sometimes I feel like in a way I just moved on from it, because it has happened, and it was really shit at the time, and it wasn't the best fun. It wasn't fun. I was still doing uni, I had exams, I had a job, I was still doing all these different things, and we had no power, no water, and cracks in the floor, and freaking the building was and a lot of my friends, I knew people who died, or were related to them, or the buildings, their houses collapsed, the schools, the unis, just office buildings. It's just horrendous, because you see beautiful things just be completely destroyed in a way by something that's naturally occurring, and you can't really help it. So I guess let's just move on, instead of kind of sitting here and rambling on a stupid long bigger story. Here you go. I'll give you maybe, I don't know how many I'll come up with, let's say 5 tips on how to deal with the natural disaster, and what to do, and what can help you not to be so stressed out. Because a lot of people, like especially like if you look on Facebook, I know a lot of people in New Zealand and everyone's just freaking out, stressing out, just freaking rah rah rah, and just, and what I think would be very, very helpful from someone who has been in this situation. Like, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night, have sirens screaming out loud somewhere in the darkness. You have no electricity, you have no water, and you're freaking outside because your house is shaking in the middle of the night, and there's no lights, just sirens, and you don't know what is happening. It's freaking terrifying. Look, and I know the feeling of continuously having aftershocks. It is one of the reasons why I moved from New Zealand, really. One of the reasons that, like, obviously outweighed me moving to Australia is because of the damn aftershocks, and you don't want to, like, live your whole life thinking, oh my goodness, like, is this wind, or is this an aftershock, or is it, like, some truck driving past that's very heavy, and my building just shaking a little bit. But anyway, here are some tips on how to calm your farm and chill out and actually try and continue to have a normal life while this is happening. So obviously an earthquake or a flood or a tsunami or whatever else, like, it's not fun. And look, I admit it's not fun, it's freaking shit, but the thing you gotta realize is that you don't have control over it. And if you don't have control over it, then sometimes there's no need to stress about it. Like, you don't need to freak yourself out excessively over it. Sometimes it's hard, I know, but if we can't control it, we can't do anything about it, we just accept it, that this is what is happening, and the best thing to do at that situation, I find, is that to focus on what needs to get done. So prioritizing, okay, we're in a pretty shitty situation and this is not fun, but what can we do to actually be productive and get everything we need done, all our ducks in a row. So, you know, if it's an earthquake, you know, making sure you have enough bottled water or like filtered water, make sure that you have your blanket, your documents, you know, charge your like electrical, you know, devices like a phone or a radio, or your light, your torch, if it's like a chargeable one, making sure that that has energy if it has no batteries and you still have power. Just like, and I'm more talking after it happened, what you're going to do next, not just like what is as when it's happened. Making sure that, you know, you just focus on what are your priorities. Being warm, having enough water, and have enough food. Like, I think those are like just the basic human needs that you need to address and take care of. And sure, like, make sure that you have your, you know, your money, your documents, all of that together, and have that available to you. Then the next thing I would say, the next important thing would be informing your loved ones, and letting them know. And I mean, like, you don't have to obviously do it second, you can do it first or whatever, but like making sure that you're communicating to people who care about you, that you're okay, that you're doing fine, and also having that contact with people is very, very helpful. I would be very wary to be in contact with incredibly, like, you know, emotional people. Like, I mean, it might sound really mean and evil, but like, a lot emotional people tend to really over dramatize everything. And look, I'm not trying to take away any like horror or whatever from it. Like, it sucks, natural disasters suck, but we don't need to go on and on and on and on about it, right? We just like address it. It is what it is, and this is what we can do to make our lives better and be flexible, how we can be flexible in something that is not actually ideal, if that makes sense. So another thing would be thinking about what you can do, keeping your mind off things. So whether it's reading a book, whether it's baking, if you know you have your electricity and all of that happening, and running water, having friends over, catching up with them, going for like a little walk or something in the area, in the neighborhood, just keeping your mind busy, not just continuously focus on the event and the disaster that has happened. Like trying to just relax yourself, keep yourself busy. Like if you're into like drawing, or you know, that adult coloring book, just do that. Like just seriously refocus. Like first you need to prioritize and get what you need to get done, get all your documents together, water and food, to communicate with people you love, your loved ones. Just, you know, whether you're just talking or making sure the people in your area are okay. 3 is sorry sorry, it's pretty late over here. 3 is actually keeping busy, keeping your mind off the main event and doing something productive or doing something relaxing. You know, it could be even like knitting, whatever you find like relaxing and enjoyable. Just do that, seriously. That is like obviously if your house is not completely destroyed, and yeah, if you're able to do it, obviously. If, you know, you're that unfortunate, then you probably go to your friend's house or your family member's house and just take a shelter there. And again, distract yourself. Don't make this crazy thing that has happened that's really, really not great at all. But like, don't let that overtake and rule your life completely. So see, that's another thing. Don't sit all day long watching the news and watching the media, because all you're gonna see, like honestly, the media loves to draw attention to drama because drama sells. So if all you do is like sit around watching all the channels and news and all the channels to see what's the update, like seriously, it's not gonna get any better. So why stress yourself out with it? Personally, for me, if I want to get an update on a particular incident that has happened, I just, you know, go when I have time and specifically look for it, not just sit there and watch of what's going on, because you just like amping it up and making it, you know, you just on in like a circle, and you don't let yourself calm and recharge. So I think maybe what I should have started with, and number one thing, is look after yourself and take care of yourself. Because if you're not sleeping right, if your mind's all wanky, if your nerves are through the roof and you don't have enough, you know, basic human needs like fresh water, clean water, some food and warmth, then like nothing else really. So I'd say number one, the most important thing is to look after yourself. Calm down, try to prioritize of what needs to get done, focus and refocus on something that's not the main event. Try and keep busy. And it could be you being busy by baking muffins for, I don't know, the army guys who are helping out with somewhere in the CBD, and you just go and bring the muffins and you just feel like you're being helpful to the community, and that's brilliant and it's beautiful and that's what you want to do that. But don't just, you know, think about it incredibly negatively. Like try and just be proactive, be productive, get out there or stay in, like whatever you're most comfortable with, and look after yourself. And you know what, like it's never good, it's never fun. So my heart goes out to people who are going through earthquakes and natural disasters. It's pretty shitty, but remember that you can't really control it. It's not really something you can control. It's nature. It's nature, like seriously. You can't, no matter how hard you try. Like, you're not going to stop the earthquakes. So just accept it, that this what has happened or might happen, like continue happening, like aftershocks, and deal with it as it comes. But don't allow it to completely rule your life, if that makes sense. Okay, let's end this video here. It's been a pretty long video. Hope you have found it helpful, or at least felt like you're not in it alone. Like you never are. There's a ton of people out there going through the same situation in your country, or you know, in your city. So just talk to people if you need to talk to people, or get lost in reading a book if that's what makes you feel better. But stay safe, look after yourself, look after your loved ones, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.